does this bus go?
Everyone knows this is the bus to Goo Lagoon, the land of eternal sun and surf. I'm just waiting for my friend to show up so I can give him my extra bus ticket.
An extra ticket! Can I borrow it for a while? I haven't been to Goo Lagoon in ages.
Sorry, little dude. I only have one extra bus ticket.
Please?
Nope, no can do.
But I just want to borrow it.
Listen, nothing will convince me to give away this extra ticket. Well, maybe for 50 jellyfish, which I can use to make my favorite snack.
Larry is a jellyfish murderer. Also, do you know... Does anybody know what that sound is? The one... You have to go back and listen to it if you missed it, but... The one that happens every time that you, go out of the start menu, and... It's also the one that, the sound that it makes whenever you pick something up. I can't even, like, do it. It's a sound that they use quite a bit in the show, and, yeah, I accidentally fucking got on the ferry immediately, because I'm a genius who's really good at video games. I didn't think I was even on it, but this actually happened the first time around, which I'll explain what that means in a second. But yeah, it's a frequently used sound in the show. I just have never known how they make it, because there are lots of little weird sounds in the show where they don't sound like something real, but, you know, for a lot of them, I know how they actually made them, like the one I mentioned in the last video with the snails. Whenever Gary moves, it's the sound of just, like, fish cheeks being pulled in and out. You can do it with human cheeks as well. I love saying cheeks. I don't know what that one is, so if you have any idea, or like how you even go about describing it, then that would be cool. Anyway, let me take a drink of water first. I've been doing a lot of like talking and yelling lately, from like streaming and recording stuff, as well as just like talking to Liv while I'm here, because we're fucking stuck in the house, we don't got anything better to do, and that was excellent. As well as we were playing Wii Sports and Mario Kart yesterday, and both of those, you know, if you're really having fun with them and getting into them, it's quite a bit of screaming. And I also have just been eating, like, spicy foods, which isn't new. Like, I'd be doing that, but it's just resulted in my throat being kind of, like, scratchy sometimes, which isn't, like, none of this is new. This is something I deal with a lot. Just the reason why I've been fucking pounding waters during these videos lately, just so when I am talking for long stretches of time, my throat doesn't start to hurt. Fucking anyway, this is Chum World, and I mostly like this level. I guess I'll explain before I get too far into it that this is actually my second time playing through this level on recording, because what happened was I was playing through this level, and everything you're seeing is pretty much the exact, like, order that I did it in. I even fucking got on the ferry by accident at the very beginning, like I did here. So, not intentional, but whatever.
You are one tough customer.
I was doing the most annoying thing in the whole game, which is in the next video, so you won't have to hear me bitch about that yet, or maybe I will, who knows. Light 'em up, hell yeah. But yeah, we gotta go get the Mermaid Man thing. One of the like 2 times in the whole game that you actually have to use the Mermaid Man costume. The vast majority of the time, like, at least with this level, you just get the Chum World music over and over again, but even that gets kind of grating after a while. But Like, I felt bad how the only music in this entire run has just been the fishing gear song, because it's just usually the most sensible thing to have. You gotta be collecting jellyfish pretty much all the time. Excuse me, and, let's not hop on the ferry again. And there's also those hooks, which are in several parts, and they're the only way you can get around in some parts. So, like, it's just good to usually either just not have anything or the fishing gear, unless otherwise told. Pretty much every other time you don't really need anything. I remembered the dispersal of costume use in this game being much better, but I also remember this game taking me much longer, so I think the real explanation was, when I was a kid, I just didn't mind, like, going back and forth and constantly changing costumes just because I liked being in the different... Like, I would walk all the way back and change into the Mermaid Man costume when I was done having to use a costume. Like, I'd go through the whole level to get all the jellyfish just so I wouldn't have to do any of that shit. And then I would just, you know, any special parts where you need, like, the reef blower or whatever, which there's only, like, 2 of those, I would just immediately go back and put on the Mermaid Man one because I just liked the music and I thought it looked cool. I always liked when SpongeBob did, like, Mermaid Man stuff as a kid. It was always my favorite thing. I actually, I once wrote a letter to Steven Hillenburg, which my friend's mom told me she sent. I don't know where she sent it, because I certainly didn't know Steven Hillenburg's address or where I could reach him. But she assured me that she knew how she could get it to Nickelodeon. But I sent him a letter with a... this was after he had stopped being showrunner, so it was for naught either way. And, I mean, it was for naught either way because I was a child, and they're not going to make an episode that some random kid just says to do. They should do that, though. TV shows should do that. Just give the kids what they want. Do you know how excited that kid would be to be able to tell people, like, yeah, I sent him that? Like, I mean, I did it. I wrote stuff, even if I never ended up sending it, which was usually the case, because how am I going to send it? I don't know anything when I'm a child. I wouldn't even know how to get it to him now, other than, like, tweeting at them, but I didn't have that luxury at the time. I would send movie ideas and stuff, but yeah, I sent Steve Hillenburg I wrote up a letter that explained my idea for a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode, because I didn't like the most recent one. And I even had, like, little storyboard panels that I had drawn. And I don't know why I didn't edit out or speed up this transition, but I'm already recording over it, so it's too late. Whatever. In later videos, I've already edited the, like, gameplay for the next, like, 4 videos of this, so, I know in maybe the next one I start just cutting out the bubble wipes entirely. It's not like you're gaining anything from seeing it sped up, and I don't think you're gonna, like, not believe me that I'm playing the game or whatever. Like, it's no point, so I'm just not gonna include them at a certain point. I actually remember that my Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode idea included fighting in a giant robot, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the later Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy centered episodes of SpongeBob, which they didn't really do all that much in a lot of the newer episodes, and I guess they're probably not gonna do it anymore because both Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are dead. The characters, not the voice actors, of course. I think one of them included them fighting in a big robot, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't really remember. I'm not gonna, like, accuse Nickelodeon of stealing my idea. I just mean, clearly I had, when I was a kid, ideas for SpongeBob episodes that were worthy of being considered for a real episode, because that was one of my ideas, and it was in it, so they should have fucking hired me. I had a much better work ethic when I was 10 years old than I do now anyway, so... if you are a potential employer of me in the future watching this, I have a great work ethic. I mean, I guess I do. I keep up with these videos, but forcing myself to play video games that I like isn't really that hard. What the fuck am I talking about? I feel like I had a thought that I started like 10 minutes ago, and then I've just not finished it. This big top level is fun, isn't it? I actually really like this part. It's very big. The only thing I don't like about it, which you'll see in like more starkly a little bit later, is it is the camera really does not help in this part. Any part of the game with like multiple levels, like vertically, doesn't really work. And also this thing is a little bit finicky, and yeah, I fuck it up, so sorry. Oh yeah, I remember what I was saying. I was playing the terrible part in this level that will be in the next episode, and I realized about halfway through that I was recording with OBS with my settings from the stream I did the other night. Which, like, P.S. follow me on Twitch if you want to see me stream stuff. And yeah, I forgot to, and when I stream, I'm, you know, turning up my mic audio and turning down my desktop audio for obvious reasons, but with my videos, I record my audio separately with Audacity so that I can just manipulate the levels of each thing independently as I wish. And so the game audio was almost inaudible, and you could hear Liv cooking dinner and me shouting fuck at at what was happening in the game, which maybe you're sad that you missed that, but I'm not, because I was just genuinely pissed off and I cut most of that out anyway. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then like what part of the game I'm talking about, then you will see soon. Suffice it to say, it is annoying, and people who do know this game probably know what I'm referring to. But yeah. So anyway, to remedy this problem, I just finished up the shitty part, finished the level, and then because I didn't want to, like, I mean, I knew I was gonna have to put, you know, just do what I've done in, curiously, every other SpongeBob LP except I think Lights, Camera, Pants so far, that I've done, where I have had to just take the game music and put it over and repeat it, so that it's not silent because I don't have the game audio, because I'm a big dummy. But luckily I had an old save state from right before I started this level, so even though it was kind of annoying and I had just done it, I just played up to the annoying part, just put the music over the annoying part in the next video, which you will see, and then just replayed the level a second time, and then I loaded a second save state that I made after I finished the level, and then just continued playing like normal. So, if how the next video and a half plays out is like weird or confusing, or you notice like discrepancies in my doubloon count or whatever, I didn't really pay attention to that. I tried to get everything again. I mean, I play the game the same way pretty much every time, so but that's why. And I've spent literally the whole video like not like figuring out how to how to say it. Anyway, yeah, Plankton is not here, which brings me to another point that I will say after I take another big sip. This is a sponsored video for water. Not any bottled water company. That's awful. Just for water. Just water itself. Drink water. So, Chum World is weird because, for one thing, like, as far as its place in the game and the story goes, Chum World seems like it would actually be fairly successful. Like, this seems like a competently enough run place. I mean, I guess it's covered in, like, sludge, but that seems to be most of the ocean around these parts. So, I don't know, there's stuff to do and whatnot. Basically as good looking as any other, like, carnival or theme park level in any other game, which some of you will know, I really like theme park levels in games, even though many of them are very annoying, or at least have annoying parts, and that is true for almost every theme park level that I can think of, including this one, so maybe I am dumb for liking them. Because you have, for this you have Chum Putt, which you have right here. I'm not going to go in there quite yet, though. Mario Sunshine, you have that fucking terrible roller coaster balloons one, although that proved to be not nearly as bad as I remembered during my LP of it. And, I don't know. I haven't played Banjo-Tooie in a while, but I remember some part of Witchy World being dumb. I'm sure there's others I'm forgetting. But anyway, but yeah, like, this is actually a pretty decent plan by Plankton. I mean, there were people booing me in the audience of the Big Top, so I'm guessing there's people here, so he's making money. Obviously, huge investment. But as far as the story goes, like, this doesn't really have anything to do with anything. Like, Plankton's plan doesn't really have anything to do with anything, which I guess it doesn't have to. Like, I'm not suggesting he be in cahoots with the Flying Dutchman or whatever. I'm just saying it would be neat if, like, I don't know, if Chum World amounted to anything, or he was at least part of it. Like, Plankton's not even in it until the very, very end. Like, you have to just do everything in this level, and then finish another level, and then come back, and then he just has the last letter tile, and says nothing to you. So I just kind of wish that, like the other characters, he actually interacted with the character it was centered around. I really am not sure why he wasn't. And it makes this level feel kind of inconsistent and, like, incomplete. And it makes me wonder what the deal was behind it. Because otherwise it seems like a very, like, fully fleshed out and full level, but whatevs. Anyway, next time, Chum Putt. It sucks.